All right.
All right. We are rolling, gentlemen. How's it going? Welcome to Everything in Moderation, boys.
Welcome.
So
glad to be here.
so we wanted to start this podcast because we see that the media these days is very biased and very you'll never be able to find an unbiased take on anything. And while we aren't unbiased, we all do come to agreements in most cases, compromises. We try to find solutions on all different kinds of issues, and overall just trying to exchange different viewpoints and figure out what's going on with this world we live in. So Eric's always going to introduce the new topic. So what's the topic today?
Our topic today is the 2020 election. We got Donald Trump versus far left Joe Biden. Can't wait to discuss it. Far left, absolute communist.
All right.
So who are you guys voting for? Start with that. Go around the room.
Dude, I just don't vote. I've been through this. Dude,
all right, middleman.
Because
too much, Sean. Who are you voting for?
Sean?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I haven't decided. They both seem like they're not really great candidates. So I'm just waiting to see which one looks like they're going to do a little less damage come November.
Big damage control guy. That's what every election eventually turns into.
Yeah.
Is just damage control.
That's my stance.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Are you guys all not voting?
Dude.
I mean, I'm gonna vote, but I don't think I could support either of them.
Fair.
Like,
How about you?
I think I'm gonna vote for Biden at this point.
I mean, I can't.
Oh no, bro. You saw it? Did you see the video clip of him going the word salad, bro? That got me dead. I was, bro. Oh, you gotta find that. Oh, let me see if I can find it, dude. It's absurd.
Let me see. When that happened yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was like Eric, in that video with in the interview with Trump and Laura Ingraham, they put a clip of Biden from the same speech where he just totally fumbled. Like he just totally fumbled like 3 words. He said like the coronavirus was like 100 years or something. It was like absurd.
I'm gonna play it right now.
More than.
Hold on. Let me share the screen.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Steven Crowder.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
Yeah, that's tough to watch.
That's true.
That's tough to watch. I'm gonna be honest.
But
the thing is, that doesn't really matter, because on the other hand, you have Donald Trump who's saying things on purpose to piss people off, whereas Joe Biden is like innocently mentally unstable, where Trump is like viciously mentally unstable. And also, I like more Biden's. I feel like Biden has like more policies that I agree with, and he's surrounded by people who will just be like, "Yes, Donald Trump, yes."
Yeah, but I feel like
you're not wrong.
I feel like Biden's the other way around, where Biden is like, yes, Democratic Party, yes, whatever you want, yes, yes, yes.
Don't you guys think that that's kind of just what the president does for the most part? Just says yes to the whole party?
I don't know, dude. I think
that the president should be saying yes to the party rather than the party saying yes to the president. One sounds more like dictatorship. Yeah. One sounds like democracy.
So, Eric, what policies specifically of Biden do you like resonate with?
100% climate change. That is the biggest thing, in my opinion.
Sean's a big environment guy, so Sean, do you want to speak on that too?
I do like the Democratic Party's ideas about climate change because they actually want to fix it. So that is a big plus for Joe Biden right now.
Luke?
Yeah, I mean, like the climate change, you kind of need it, but at the same you definitely need it from a science perspective. You definitely need it. I'm not too concerned with it because they ain't gonna worry about me in the next 100 years. But like for future generations, it might be worth considering.
Might be a bad take.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's
Considering-
gonna come sooner than you think.
You
Yeah.
think?
Look at all the
I
crazy
don't know.
storms we've been having.
That's true. They say like eventually, like in the next like I think probably within the next century or so, maybe longer. I don't know, but they said like the whole eastern like seaboards of the United States is just gonna be completely changed. Like all these major cities that we have built up on the coast are just gonna be like underwater flooded, like New York
There's a Ben
City.
Shapiro video where he tells people to just sell their houses if it becomes underwater due to climate change. And then,
Oh yeah,
"Sell
that's
your
so
houses
fun.
to who, Ben? Aquaman.
I took geology a couple semesters ago, and like my geology teacher worked for the state of New Jersey, and he said that the Meadowlands is literally going to be underwater by 2030.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, that's probably a little crazy estimate, but who knows? I don't know. Not an
The
expert.
Meadowlands is also like half disgusting anyway. So if that goes, who really cares?
All you got right down there is the American Dream Mall and Giant Stadium. That's about it.
Yeah, but like that American
MetLife.
that
Yo,
American
where
Dream
would
Mall
Bergen
was a
Catholic
waste.
play their finals?
What'd you say, Sean?
I said, where would Bergen Catholic play their finals? Like for football, the whole state of New Jersey plays like their championship there.
The turf field that you guys paid probably like 20 grand to build in your school.
Yeah.
That one.
We're returfing. I just passed by today.
Dude, it looks really good.
All right. So what else were we talking about? Reasons I'm voting for Biden. Race relations. I mean, I don't think it's really an argument that Joe Biden would be better for the country in race relations than Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump he defended that guy that
Kenosha.
in Kenosha, yeah. The little white kid, 17-year-old cross state
You
lines.
mentioned before, I think it was a couple of weeks ago or something. You said how much effect that the president has on just the general public, just like in like what he says allows people to do certain things or feel some type of way.
Yeah.
You want to speak about that? Because that was pretty good. I saw something today that was talking about that.
I feel like the president kind of sets the tone for like the country, and Trump has made it like a my supporters versus everyone else. Like everyone else who doesn't support him, got to be radical left, and because of that, everyone's like fighting like a war. Like everyone who's supporting Trump thinks they're like fighting for like a bigger cause than just like voting for someone. They're like, I want to get behind someone, get behind something. It's like a cult. It really is like a cult.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna do whatever the president says, especially when he's good at like inciting like emotions in people. Donald Trump, he makes me really angry when he talks. I watch him, I get pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. And some people are like, yeah, I agree with everything this guy says. I'm gonna go fight for this guy. That's dangerous. And Joe Biden is such a bad speaker that literally no one wants to get behind him. I'm voting for Joe Biden.
I think that despite the fact that Joe Biden can't communicate effectively, but the fact of the matter is I think that it would kind of quell things down. And like we talked about the other day, we said that like if Trump wins again, you're going to see probably more like backlash. Whereas if Biden won, the Trump supporters would just be like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm sure there would still be some sort
Depends
of
what Trump does.
but it would just what?
It depends what Trump says. If Trump tries to pull the election as rigged, who knows what's going to happen. If he just says, all right, I lost, then I agree with you.
Yeah. Luke, what were you going to say? It seemed like you wanted to say something.
I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say now.
What if he loses and just doesn't leave office, refuses to leave?
I think the way he would do that was he would say it's rigged. I could see it happening. People would.
But can he actually do that?
I mean, he wanted to push back the elections.
Yeah, they want to do that.
But all of Congress has to agree with that, though.
Yeah, they would never agree.
Yeah, they would never agree to the ruling of it was a rigged election.
I don't even think the Republicans would agree to that.
Bro, I kind of feel like Republicans are just kind of fed up with him too, but at the same time, they just don't want Biden. So like,
yeah. The part that really pisses me off. Okay, we're gonna go into Trump's campaign. No more Biden's campaign, whatever you want to call that. Not much of a campaign.
Did you see his Animal
Yeah,
Crossing?
it's more like him
I
just.
said whichever one of them said nothing was going to win, and Joe Biden has barely talked for the last like 4 months.
Until he had
It's
to.
not working
Then-
though.
Then
Trump's, like,
then
closing in.
Dude,
yeah,
he's winning.
Trump's rating went up in the swing states, and now Biden's like, and now the Democrats are like, yeah, Biden, you actually have to come out and say something.
Dude, but it's crazy to me how Donald Trump's whole campaign is literally just like, there's gonna be protests and riots if Joe Biden's president, and we're all like,
Well,
but that's happening now.
oh,
And
this is
you're the
what I
president.
was gonna say. So like, to an extent, like the race relations may I mean, like we're trying to forecast the future here, so we can't really be 100% sure. But like, let's say generally they improve a little bit. I think the problem that we still have to face is that neither the Democrats or the Republicans do anything to like actually effect meaningful change. That's just how it is.
That's a great point.
So like even
Yeah.
if Biden gets elected and relations improve in like the first like month or whatever, right? Like what happens for the next year when Congress and the Senate don't do jack shit to actually help the people and infect and enact changes that they actually want.
But the question is, how would you, like, what kind of change would you expect anyone to do to fix that, to fix race relations? I have my idea, but I'll let you go. You probably already know what it is.
Dude, honestly, I have no clue I'd have to probably think about that for a little bit.
Give the people money.
Dude,
No one wants to riot in the streets if they have enough money to feed their family.
I think that the whole rioting.
I feel like the whole riot's right.
All because of COVID in a way, because like there have been like black people that have died from the police in the past, but nearly hasn't gotten as much like backlash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the George Floyd one was really.
Well, that was obviously that was appalling, but
I think the newest one with Jacob Blake is kind of due to COVID too. Like people are still like not really fully out of COVID.
yeah.
Dude, but I feel like all these like protests are like really just like dwindling in strength. Like, dude, like when they first came out, everyone was like on social media. They're like, yeah, like Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Now you like don't see it.
You have to also remember social media isn't a representation of real life.
Also true.
Protests are still going in
Dude,
most.
the basketball NBA is still doing it for every game. The coaches wear their stuff. They still have the names on the back of the jerseys.
That makes more sense than posting about it on social media, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because like Blackout Tuesday was the most bullshit thing I've ever seen.
Dude, that actually pissed people off because for the hashtag, like I forget what other hashtag they put next to it, but like it filled up that whole like hashtag with black screens, and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
like
Black Lives Matter.
and there was supposed to be like meaningful information under it. Was Black Lives Matter, that was the other hashtag. There's supposed to be
The
actual
hashtag they like rated was Black Lives Matter. It was supposed to be like Blackout Tuesday.
yeah, and it like totally messed the feed up and like pushed all the meaningful information like a million posts down.
Yeah.
So nobody was able to it totally defeated the purpose of the original hashtag.
And the worst part about that too is when you see a bunch of like your friends posting that, it kind of inclines you to want to post it yourself. And like on my feed, I have definitely seen people that have said some sus things about black people that posted it, and I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
You know? So like
it's like, were you kidding?
It's disingenuous. Obviously, like I think a more progressive approach would be to actually, if you wanted to, you go protest, or you just speak or challenge people that have like racist ideas. Like the change starts small, not.
That's what I was saying, dude. So like there's this like I was talking to one kid and like it was like more along the lines of like how I was saying that like, you know, like I don't think like sure like there definitely has to be like a certain amount of people that are like outspoken about issues, right? But like that doesn't mean that every single person has to post something on social media to say they're part of it, right? They don't have to post like the Blackout Tuesday. They don't have to do this. But like that doesn't mean that you're still not helping the progress of like enacting change, right? So like you could do like small scale things like in your own like community, right? Like even just person to person interactions, like you like just with like a couple of your friends that like may not be of the same race as you, as long as you show like some type of camaraderie or something, that may enact like change. And on top of that, like you have to realize that it's worthless trying to change the minds of people who are already like set in one mindset. And like this is I think this is like one of the like major shortcomings of like all these people like that are trying to say like let's just change it, like the problem is like once someone thinks a certain way, like it's the chances of it changing are like very slim.
And then
So
they pass it down to their children, which continues the
yeah, exactly. That's what you have to target. You have to target the next generation, because unfortunately, as much as like I like, this is my personal opinion, obviously, but I don't think
to shape the minds of the young.
Yeah, we have to.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. We have to go for the young people, because honestly, like as much as like this is like contrary to what people want, change coming in like the near future, I personally don't see it. Like even though you may write up a law, you may do this, you may propose a bill, but I don't think it's still going to be enforced the way that people think it will be.
Yeah, but let me tie this back to the election. Do you think that if Donald Trump was the president for 4 more years, that would help this change move along? Because the more young people who support Donald Trump, the more racist. Like, come on, you know the things he says are like racist. Some of the things he says. So I think there's also, I will say, our generation is probably the least racist generation. Like, and like the generation below us is probably the least racist generation too.
I agree with that.
There's definitely some things that like he says that are like definitely borderline, like you should just not be saying. But like,
Doesn't Biden say similar? I mean, not like
dude,
as
Biden,
it's
dude.
still kind of
You know
racist,
what I don't understand.
Lips.
Yeah, you know what I don't understand? It's like the Trump, like with the whole thugs thing, like with the rioters, that people that were
everyone that protests is a thug, by the way.
I don't think he said it to everyone that protests though. Did he? I thought he's come out multiple times to say like the thugs are like people who are like burning and looting and rioting and stuff like that.
Trump is always very nuanced about his discussions like that.
Trump,
well, that's also a good point.
I just pulled it up on thehill.com. It said Trump decries DC protesters as thugs.
Oh, that's
Like, that's just like what I'm talking about. Like, because you know the old white men are like, oh, thugs, black people, and that's what they
yeah,
associate
but
with.
yeah, but also
that's who he's targeting.
But look at Biden in the 90s, bro. It said it in that interview with Laura Ingraham. They brought it up. Biden said
a completely different time, bro. Like the thing is, the whole point is he is a liberal. He is a progressive. His whole point is to like change his ideas with the times. That's why I hate when people go back 20 years and say like, oh, this person says something stupid.
Well,
yeah,
dude,
they probably did, but times
it's cancel culture, dog. That's the
we have to cancel him immediately.
Yeah, that's the whole thing we live in. It's just straight cancel culture.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. Dude, you should change your idea for the better. You should be like praise. You should be like, yeah, this guy, like everyone should follow this guy.
I agree, but I also think there comes a point, like I don't know if Biden has publicly said it, but like if you fucked up with something, at least admit it. Take like some type of like responsibility. Like if he's like, yeah, I voted for it and it didn't fail, like at least admit the fact that you voted for something that didn't work.
That's literally suicide if you're running against Donald Trump. He would just take that and literally only say
Trump's going to use it anyway.
Political suicide.
Trump is going to use it anyway. Why, dude? This is the problem.
Yeah, but then he's gonna be like, Joe Biden said that he is a very racist man, one of the most racist men. Like,
you'd be like, remember what he said about Indians in 7-Eleven in Delaware? He says if you don't, you can't own a 7-Eleven or something.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
Oh my god, that was outrageous.
Biden?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Hold on.
Christian, can you play the clip?
Yes. Okay, hold on. Oh baby, it's on Blaze TV. Bro, Blaze TV. So, okay, here you go.
Well, good to see you. As you know, I got a lot of support from you, Cindy. That's where, and more to come, I think. So. No, I've had a great relationship. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. Oh, gigantic.
Bro.
I mean, I think that's a pretty funny joke. Like, to be honest. I don't think, dude. But the thing is, I think the intention kind of matters. Like you could, like like Joe Biden is like not like seriously saying like if you don't have an Indian accent, you can't go to 7-Eleven. But the thing is, like if Donald Trump says something like that, he'll actually like mean it.
I think that's a good point.
Intention definitely matters.
But
Bro, but you just can't be saying that now, dude. Like everyone criticizes like Trump for not running like a very proper presidency, but like, dude, like if you're saying that in like the United States, bro, you can't be doing that if you're president either. I mean,
Yeah, we said
I
it
don't
like
think
8
that's
years ago.
bad. What?
Sean?
What?
You say Sean?
Yeah, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? You said you were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say he said that like 8 years ago, back in like the 2008 election.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's not really like Donald Trump still doing it today.
It's true. I mean, there was recently where Joe Biden said that thing about I think it was about education. He said that poor kids deserve to be just as educated as white kids. And then I'm like, what?
Yeah, that one wasn't a good one either, dude. Like honestly, if I was Trump's campaign head, I would just take all of like Biden's gaffes, like make a big compilation and just throw it out on like every like TV.
It would be
like, yeah, but that's kind of what he's doing, and that's like that's such a bad platform to run as president. You're running on. At least I'm not like this guy. Like I hate that. That's why Hillary didn't win. She's like, at least I'm not Trump. Yeah,
well, dude.
Like, yeah, but you suck too.
Yeah, well, dude, that's the other issue, bro. Is that the fact that every election we have to pick between the like battle of the worst.
There's no way these are the best two people in America that can be president.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
Candidates for 2024.
There were better candidates this year, but they got kicked out.
Awesome to the win, yeah. Eric, I know you hold one candidate very near and dear to your heart, so speak a little about that person.
Andrew Yang. No one wants to talk about my boy Andrew Yang, the only candidate who actually looks at real science data and says, you know what, we need a solution to problems, not just yell about things, Democrat, Republican, not left, not right, forward.
So what do you have to say to people that say like, oh, but Andrew's a Democrat, so therefore he must be left? What would you have to say to someone that said that?
I mean, he kind of is left-leaning, but I would say, like, the most out of any candidate, I've met more people on the right that would support a lot of the things he says more than anyone else. And I also think that it's like a important thing to note that the Democratic Party didn't want him to get publicity for a reason. And all the debates, he had the least amount of speaking time. Yeah, they knew if they gave him time to talk, that he would enact real change, make people actually want to change the world, unlike the Democrats who just say they want to change something.
Eric. Oh, I'm sorry, Christian.
I always kind of liken and warn people about the Democratic Party and kind of say that they are wolves in sheep's clothing. Like they pretend to be your buddy, but in the end of the day, they just want to stay in power themselves. So like they really don't care about you. Neither party cares about you. It's just that Republicans, you kind of understand what you're getting up front. So they say, fuck you to your face instead of, screwing.
I kind of agree to an extent.
At least they let you know that they're screwing you.
What, Sean?
I said at least they know, or they let you know that they're screwing you in the beginning. Yeah. You don't have to find out afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I still think a lot of the policies that the Democrats have are like beneficial to the majority of the country.
Absolutely. But
here's
how Luke, go ahead.
So just the one issue in like politics, dude, it's just in general. It's just like neither party is focused on like the whole purpose of government is to benefit the people. And both parties just don't want to benefit the people. They benefit their own agendas. They benefit the people, the companies.
It's not even their own agendas. It's
they
like
benefit
people that are paying them.
Yeah, the companies that lobby them. It's like just like not even close to like the actual people that get affected by these changes.
That's why I say all congressmen and congresswomen should be paid the same as the average American.
Agreed. Like, if you're serving the American people, you shouldn't be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And
Like
outlaw.
the president
Especially
makes
when our taxes that pay for it.
Yeah. They're like, here, you got $600 during COVID for the past 6 months, but don't worry, we'll get our bonuses. We got our
Yeah.
$150,000 a year. That's bullshit. That really pisses me off.
The one thing I like about Yang though is like I think Yang's policy, like I mean, through our numerous discussions, I'm still very skeptical of how it would actually work. But like I understand he did the math, he ran the numbers, and he's a smart guy, and I understand like all that stuff. But I still find it a little skeptical. The two things that I do like is like his plan, if it were to work, is a little more like
Plan.
what the IBS,
Like UBI.
the IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. The UBI, I think is kind of like would you say it's like a socialist kind of agenda, like to give people money, I guess.
Do you like the police?
I mean,
But
like,
I think it's
Socialist?
here. Let me say something. So we have Social Security. That's technically socialist. You know.
yeah. So I mean, I guess the UBI would kind of be like a socialistic like kind of policy, but I feel like the way he incorporates it kind of like still allows us to keep a sense of like the capitalism that we still have today, which I think is still I think that's a good point.
He wants to use that money so that like you could stimulate the economy with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about it. But like you can also choose to use it however you want. If you want to save it, that's fine too. You could do whatever you want with it.
Good.
And the other aspect I like, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It's good for the lower class for unexpected like medical payments or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Start on medical payments. We
Yeah.
don't want to go there today. We don't have time.
Yeah, we're not gonna go to medical payments. Those medical payments touch me and Eric very deeply.
Yo, I have a question for you guys about UBI,
Yes.
especially you, Eric, because I know you love it.
Eric knows the most of it.
So I was talking to my grandma the other day about it, and she said it's not a bad idea. And she's like obviously part of the older generation, but she brought up a good point. For those people that have been paying into it for their entire work life, and since they were young, you can't just like take the money away.
For Social Security?
To it for like 40 years. No, I'm saying like any of the, like, yeah, the Social Security fund, like they put into it for 40 years. So you can't just say you guys can't have anything. You have to balance it out. Pay out some of the Social Security.
After a certain point, it would be phased out. You can't just get rid of it. It would have to be phased out.
Yeah.
So like after you were born in a certain age, you Social Security you can't use it anymore. And then I say that if you were to introduce UBI, you could give people a choice if they didn't make that like cut, I guess, to either take UBI or take whatever is left of their Social Security.
That's Yang's current plan. He said that you can either choose to keep your current benefits or take the $1,000 a month.
Did you guys see the thing I put in the chat about Australia? I don't know if you guys watched that video that I put. It's about I forget what the system was called exactly, but basically it's a little different. It's kind of like they set up like a fund for everybody, and the employer has to put in like X% into this fund for you. And like usually like it's more of like I guess it's more of like a 401k, but it doesn't come out of your own money. So it like comes from the employer, and like they put in like an account, and you could choose like where to invest it. And when it comes time to take, like there's like certain times you could take it out, but you can either take it out as like a lump sum or like payments over time. It's like it's kind of weird.
Some employers here actually do match your 401k, whatever money you put in.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good company. You want to work for those
only
companies.
to a certain amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to discuss something because, Luke, what you said about Australia, there's something similar that happens in Norway, which is often used as the socialist example of things. The thing is Norway acquires a lot of public enterprises like energy sources. Obviously, oil is huge in Norway. So what they do is they acquire those companies, they buy them. And then whatever profits they make, they give a percentage and they put it to this thing called the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And what they do with that money is that's basically how college is free there, healthcare is free there. It's because the government is making money to pay for it. Because if the government didn't have enough money, then yeah, you'd be paying for college, you'd be paying for healthcare. But the way this system works is that they invest that percentage of profit, and then that's what they give back to the Norwegian people. And obviously, because of that, there's higher taxes because that also contributes to that. There's also a higher cost of living. I think I saw somewhere like if you were to buy a Volvo here, it'd be $23,000, and over in Norway it'd be 36. So obviously, major price disparity there.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump.
But the thing is that Norwegians are okay living like that and living by paying more because they trust the people in power to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
Whereas that system just couldn't work, in my opinion, because of the people who are in our government.
That's a good point. Yeah, and nobody trusts politicians. Everyone. Well, actually, dude, you know what I think, dude? Like, I feel like obviously, like I said, I don't vote. I'm not a big supporter of the entire system that we have in place now. I don't think it's. I think it's completely flawed. Doesn't matter who you vote for, and it only matters if you vote in like 13 states, which makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
You
and
think we should
people
get
are
rid
like,
of the electoral college?
100% we should get rid of the electoral college.
Agreed.
We need to get rid of the electoral
But like,
college.
dude, like people are like, oh, why don't you vote, Luke? It's your right. I'm like, let me look at New Jersey's electoral college status for the past like 20 years. Oh, it's been Democrat every single year. Like, there's no point of changing. Like, if you're voting for local positions and maybe even your own state positions, that's different. But national wise, it doesn't really matter. But
Luke, you should become an elector in New Jersey and just look at all the votes and vote Republican.
I should do what?
You should become like an elector in the electoral college for New Jersey,
and
look at all the Democratic votes and vote Republican anyway.
Dude, if you're that guy, you would probably actually get like burned at the stake or something. Like, they would pull out some like 18th century like garbage on you. Like Puritan type shit, and like chop your head off or something, like something insane. They'd be like, dude, I don't think that's ever happened. But it's wild that like we technically vote, but it doesn't even matter because the people in the electoral college could do whatever they want with the electoral votes. They don't. But I'm just saying, theoretically,
they can.
Yeah.
If they wanted to screw somebody over, they could. That's something I don't really agree with. And like you said, Christian, the trust is just like not built there, and I don't think it's going to be built anytime soon because we're just constantly fed lies by both sides. And back to I forgot to add the second point that I like, Eric, about the Yang's platform is how he wants to shift like how the United States is doing financially and economically over from a scale of GDP to a scale of like a person's like living quality of life. Yeah, I think that's something that's a good like shift in like
I feel that's gonna be, not to interrupt you, sorry, but I just want to say this. I feel like that's gonna be something in like 50 years. We're gonna look back and be like, why didn't we do this earlier? Like whenever we do adopt, like, because GDP doesn't mean anything to anyone, dude. That shit.
Dude, like you said with the stock market, dude, it's just like imaginary numbers. Like,
it really is.
Dude, like, where do these numbers come from? Nobody knows. It's just people buying and selling like stuff that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like hype has such a big factor too around things.
Tesla.
Yeah. And even Elon Musk says that the share price should not be as high as it is. And then when he does say that, it tanks. But
and then it goes up to all-time highs right after.
Yeah.
Dude, but
he knows what he's doing.
Dude, you know what I find that's like cool about like a lot of that stuff is like the disruptive technology. But like we're a political.
This isn't a stock market podcast.
Yeah, I was just about to say we're gonna have to make a stonks podcast.
Diversify our podcast investment.
I'm trying to find now when the last time New Jersey as an electoral college voted
Republican,
but I can't seem to find it right now.
Yeah, probably because it never existed.
I think it was like 20 years ago.
I mean, I believe it. I think
probably with Bush, maybe.
Wasn't there a district that voted Republican
Yeah, there's
years ago?
plenty of counties that have voted Republican, but I think, how is the electoral
1988.
What was it?
1988, George Bush.
George Bush?
Senior though, not
Senior,
the
yeah. Not
yeah.
W.
not W.
Was that election kind of a landslide win?
I'm not sure. Was that the Al Gore election?
Yeah, I think so. Or was Gore the
Didn't Al
son?
Gore win the popular vote and lose like the actual electoral vote?
No. This wasn't the same election. This was Bush versus Michael Dukakis. I have no idea who that is.
That's probably the reason.
Probably for a reason.
It
yeah.
wasn't even close.
Yeah.
He only won like 5 states.
When historically blue states vote red, then it's probably a landslide.
Do you
Yeah.
guys think that American politics is more to the right than to the left?
In what way?
Like even the left party in America is like they're not really the left.
Yeah, they're not.
Like
really.
they're more centrist than left.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are pretty far right in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good point. Would you think that it would make more sense if like the Democrats became more left, because then it would kind of equal out, and then because I think it was remember I showed you guys Slavoj Zizek, that philosopher?
Yeah.
So he said that if you want to make like a change here, like in terms of like a neutral, like finding like a neutral ground, is you have to have 2 radical opponents. Because then
but
Because then everyone's
like if you have someone who's actually like far left and like they're running for like AOC is kind of far left, not like far left, but everyone on the right's just like, oh my god, literally a communist, and everyone's like, oh my god, the C word, like we can't vote for a communist, and then they're gone. That's also why I think that United States politics has a far right bias, or not far right, but right.
She is like the most far left besides Bernie Sanders.
Here we go. See,
dude. But did you see what they said in the Ingram?
I mean, there's no issue with that.
I think I would rather have a far left society than a far right society. I'd rather have a fucking commune than a police state.
Wild take.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
We're getting close to the police state. Only one way to find out. Let's vote for Trump.
If you're gonna have a far left country, so like that would be a socialist country, right? That's what you would.
Well, far left is communism, but
fair enough.
For all intents and purposes, we can say socialist. Yeah.
Okay, so just to like make it a little less crazy.
Yeah, fair.
So, the biggest.
I don't support communism, by the way.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Listen, we all have opposing viewpoints, but if you come at any one of us, we're all gonna defend each other. So like, don't mess with the gang here. So
What are you gonna say though?
So socialism, I think that a big issue with it as a theory, it's actually a good theory. I think it's a great theory, but it seems that whenever it's executed, there's just not a good example of a country that applied it well. Yes.
But I don't think anyone. I'm very emotional about this. I don't think anyone is advocating for a full socialist country. That'd be absolutely ridiculous. Just like no one should be advocating for a full capitalist society. That's also ridiculous.
Yeah. But
like the Nordic model of socialism could 100% work in America. I think it's crazy to think that it wouldn't work. Absolutely crazy.
Well, is the Nordic model really socialist though? Because when I was doing research on it, it really wasn't.
Nothing's true socialism. Like we're not true capitalist, but like we're more to the capitalist side than the socialist side. I think it's like a spectrum. Like this is America, and this is like the Nordic model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that we like moving more to the middle, maybe even more to the left, would be a better idea.
I think the one thing that a lot of people fear about that though is that like if you look at like our history, like we've built up to being like one of the world powers. If you look at like socialist countries, I don't know personally, I haven't done research, but are there any like socialist countries that are like very affluent and like politically strong in the world, in sense of the word.
Listen, Scandinavia as a whole is a good example, but Scandinavia as a whole is just not socialist. It's a capitalistic society with socialist like welfare systems and stuff.
And I think that's a great idea for America.
I think
But how affluent is Scandinavia in like terms of like
You also
world
have to
powers?
remember, like, the United States is fucking giant, and we have so many more. Like, at this point, we're like way more advanced than like all these countries you're talking about. We have so much more to like offer, like in terms of like being able to make money. We have so much more like money flowing around and circulating. Like, I think it's a stupid excuse to say like, oh, these countries, because they're in a bad area, have no natural resources, like aren't strong. Like, I think that's a stupid argument.
like let's look at Venezuela for example. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. If you didn't know that, but the thing is they're trading it, but not like using that money to benefit the people. They're using it to benefit the people at the top, which is why Venezuelans are starving. There's a mass exodus of Venezuelans leaving the country. Jobs. I think to make minimum wage here, like for an hour, Venezuelans would have to work like 2 weeks
Yeah,
at like $10.
That was
Dude, the same thing could happen in a capitalist country. That's not just socialism.
I was watching something. I forget where. It was some YouTube video I found, but it was basically this guy that was going. I don't know. Maybe Christian, you put it in our group chat or something. But
By the way,
it was like this guy went. I don't really remember exactly when I found it, but this guy pretty much went around into like these like I forget. It may have been like Venezuela or maybe like Colombia or something, and they were like. I think it was maybe Venezuela. They went around and they're like, well, what do you think about like people trying to change like the United States into like not a communism, a socialistic like society? And like, dude, all these people that literally just immigrated from the same scenario were just like, that's a horrible idea. Like literally like our people are like actually just like terribly like living, like they're living like, quality of life and their like living situation is just actually terrible, and they're like, if you incorporate in like in the US, it would just like completely fail.
But no one's advocating for that type of thing. Ask someone from Norway the same question, they'll say a completely different answer.
I think the point is that Venezuela clearly it's a problem at the top, and just how they're manipulating and using the system to just to turn into like a totalitarian state.
Well, I wouldn't trust the people at our top to fucking.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I wouldn't trust.
But like, we're not giving them extra power. We're just saying the tax dollars that we pay should be used for things that benefit the people, such as like healthcare and college.
Doesn't matter, bro. Doesn't matter, because as long as you have Amazon fucking paying millions and billions of dollars to lawmakers, it doesn't matter what matter. Like
Outlaw lobbying.
What?
Outlaw lobbying.
Okay, and then.
Who's
part of
gonna
platform, part of Yank's platform, by the way.
Here's the problem: the companies have so much power in the United States. They're just like, "Oh, you want to outlaw us? Fine, we'll just move our entire operations somewhere else." And as soon as they do that, let them go. Then what? But then like the whole standards of our economy that we're completely built on currently is just going to crash.
Yeah, but you like the free market, right? Someone else will step up and take your place.
Yeah, but who's going to take over the place of Amazon?
Someone that'll listen to the new laws.
Walmart's trying to. They're already competing. If Amazon takes its shit everywhere else, Walmart's gonna be like, yeah, we're fine. We'll do it.
Okay, yeah, but if I guarantee you, Walmart lobbies too.
Yeah, but we're living in a world where lobbying's outlawed here, and then Amazon leaves.
Yeah, but let's say all these big corporations leave.
They all leave.
Someone else will step up.
Dude, not to that scale and not that quickly.
Not quickly.
Yeah.
In 2019, Walmart spent $6,430,000 of total lobbying expenditures.
You want to know the crazy thing about Amazon? They changed their minimum wage to $15 an hour, and then lobbied to increase it for everyone to $15 an hour to get rid of all the competition.
Yep. Dude,
That's
Bezos,
not even close.
Bezos, smart businessman, terrible ethics.
Oh yeah.
But smart businessman.
Listen, in terms of him creating an empire for himself, there's not any better. But
yeah,
at what cost, you know?
Yeah.
Stepping like every person's head is a stepping stone.
Dude, I think it's beast. I think it's beast that his wife became the richest woman in the world by just divorcing him. That is actually hilarious. That's
What does
actually hilarious.
that tell the women of our country?
Dude, talk about having a sugar daddy. God damn.
You guys think Amazon's too big?
100%.
They're getting bigger.
I know.
Listen, I think that Amazon getting big is a good thing, but they need to take care of their workers. Like,
I saw
mean,
this.
like-
Hold on. Can I pull up a video real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
You can keep
Well, he
talking.
does that.
You should be able to share your screen. Just let me know if you can't. But, like, stopping a business from becoming bigger is just like, I don't know. I just can't see that being ethical in its own right. But the thing is, obviously, it needs to still go in accordance with laws, which it doesn't. It doesn't pay tax. Amazon doesn't pay tax. And that's something Andrew Yang was big about. There was like a corporate tax or something, Eric, that
Yeah.
you were talking about, basically so that these big companies would have to, like, listen, 2%, like let's just say 2% tax to Amazon, right? 2% tax is probably millions of dollars. So like, all that could be used for better social policies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have so much revenue. There's so much money in this country that is just either being hoarded or not being used efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, wait. Let me play this video. How do I?
All right, while you look for that,
I can't.
the first time that I heard like about a company not paying taxes was in high school. My AP US history teacher, bro, she was talking about how she used to work for Verizon, and like in the past like 10 years they paid zero tax.
Wait, Christian, can you give me screen sharing capabilities?
Yeah. Try now.
Here we go.
Yeah,
It's just-
I do have to go in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up right after this video.
This is Amazon's trust busting training video or union busting training.
Eric, pause for 1 second.
Specifically designed.
Just for the people, you've watched this video before?
Yeah.
So if you want, could you just like explain a little bit about to people who just might be listening instead of watching?
Yeah. So this is a video that Amazon plays for all its workers, and it's just like when they get trained, and it's basically just like saying like don't join a union and report people who try to like talk about unions.
And to give you the tools that you need for success when it comes to labor organizing. During this course, we'll cover several important topics, such as our position on unions, associate rights, signs of employee disengagement, as best for the associate, the business, and our shareholders. We do not believe unions are in the best interest of our customers, our shareholders, or most importantly, our associates. Our business model is built upon speed, innovation, and customer obsession, things that are generally not associated with unions. When we lose sight of those critical focus areas, we jeopardize everyone's job security. We don't badmouth unions in general, but we will speak openly with associates about unions, including any specific concerns about particular unions involved in organizing. And we share our preference for a direct working relationship frequently and boldly, even when no organizing activity has occurred. You will learn about the warning signs most commonly associated with early union organizing, as well as other warning signs that could indicate associate disengagement, vulnerability to organizing, or early organizing activity. All
right, so I'm going to watch the whole thing.
That's pretty unbelievable.
But yeah, basically, like the video goes on to say, like, if anyone even thinks about talking about a union, you need to report them as soon as possible. Like, I just like what are union? Like, do you guys think unions are bad? I think that unions are fucking awesome. They give workers rights.
Yeah, they advocate a lot for the workers that they represent. Like, my brother worked, and he was part of a union for a while, and they always like advocate for like increases in wages and insurance and benefits, and that's stuff that like. If they didn't exist, like I don't think normal workers are going to band together and act, or even you're not even going to advocate it for yourself to like a CEO or a company upper, you know?
I think that most of the unions are good, but some of them have a little too much power in their negotiating.
In which union and specifically do you have that idea about?
Well, like in the police union, just for an example, they run out of, like, when you have a contract that says we're here for the next 4 years, if you don't have a new contract by the time that finishes up, you don't work there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But with their union, you work the 4 years, and then you just keep working under the old contract until you have a new one made.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
absurd.
it should be, I think that's ridiculous. If you don't have a contract, that's it. You don't work there anymore. But like, that's a way that the cops just can't get fired, because they just keep working on the same contract until it's not a new one.
That's actually crazy.
I think that next episode we definitely have to cover some police issues.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
I think that we have a lot of good and reasonable ideas to revamp the police system and hopefully lead it to less chaos.
We usually agree pretty well on this one.
Yeah, I think that this is one that we really just like. I think that any sane person is pretty probably would think the way that we think.
Yeah, agreed.
Dude, with the Blake shooting the other day, like, how do they let that happen when there's already a national spotlight on the police?
Yeah.
With like killing people of color?
Well, good thing this is for next week's episode, Sean, because you'll have a lot of
Tune in
time.
next week to see our opinion.
Because you'll have a lot of time to delve into it then.
Yeah, we have a lot of interesting points to say, and for everyone listening and watching, we appreciate you tuning in to the very first pilot episode. We're gonna be having episodes every Wednesday. When we record them is totally just up in the air, but we'll get them out every Wednesday and probably around like 1 or 2 o'clock p.m. and then engage with us, ask questions if you want to get in contact with any of us. Literally just ask who you know. Like if you came here because of Luke, ask Luke that you want to talk to someone else, because we're all trying to learn here. This is a learning experience for us too. We want to progressively change our thinking as well and try to find the best answers. And
if they have any recommendations for topics to talk about,
absolutely, yeah.
Just,
we want to cover whatever is important to our listeners.
Yep.
But until then, we'll talk about whatever we want to talk about.
We don't have that following yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, everybody. Thanks a bunch.
Dude, next week,
Adios.
I'll actually have Wi-Fi.
Excellent.
Well, that'd be great, because
camera work.
You sound like half the professors in my Zoom classes.
Oh my God.
All
right, boys.
right, boys. See you later.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.